Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Sarah and we are going to go over all of the books that I bought in February. So some of these ones are new releases. Some of them are a little bit older that have snagged my attention. One of them I got that actually came out today, but I bought it like a week and a half ago. And I'm so excited for all these books. There's a lot of these books that are present on my TBR or that I have plans to read very soon. One of them I already read and I'm really excited for all of these. So let's just get into it. And let's just point out the fact that I do have my Princess Donut shirt on, and you know, because we have to. So the very first one that I'm going to talk about is the only one out of the stack that I have already read, and that is Dollface by Lindy Ryan. This one is pitched as a 90s-esque Barbie slasher, and this one is following a woman who is a horror author. She moves to a new town with her husband and her son, who is 8 years old. And she's worried that because she is a horror author, she's not going to fit in with the other moms. Because they tend to kind of give her dirty looks because she's a horror author and she likes to wear like old slasher t-shirts, like movie t-shirts and stuff. And so she moves into this house, and right as soon as they are moved in, not fully unpacked or anything, but once they're moved in, the first person that she ends up meeting just happens to be her neighbor from up the street and is also the president of the PTA. So of course, this is the very first person that she meets, and it kind of spirals from there because she starts kind of spending time with this woman and hanging out with this woman who's in the PTA. She gets sucked into being on the PTA, and then all the PTA moms start to die or are brutally attacked. And it is trying to figure out what the heck is going on while she is sitting there thinking, oh my God, I'm a horror author. Why can't I figure this out? I had so much fun with this book. The aspects of this one were just so fun. The attacks were very unhinged. You do get a perspective from the actual dollface attacker, like serial killer woman. So you do get that perspective once in a while, and it is unhinged. It is so much fun. This book, I haven't read it yet, but it kind of made me think of like what I've heard people saying about Bunny, except instead of being in school setting, it is like after that when you're part of the PTA. And it made me so excited to pick up Bunny because my sister described Bunny to me as like a Mean Girls-esque type of book, and this is like that. So the girls on the women on the PTA are not nice. They are not friendly, and they kind of look down at their president, which her name is, does it say? I can't remember what her name is. Darla. I think her name is Darla. So they kind of look down on her, even though that she is the president of the PTA, and they're very rude to her. And so now all these things are starting to happen, and it was a great time. I had so much fun with this. I gave this 4.5 stars. I think there were parts of it that were very predictable, other parts that weren't. And it was a lot of fun. And I'm really glad that I bought this. I'm really glad that I read it and that I loved it because I was so nervous that I wouldn't like it for how excited I was about it. And so yeah, that's it for this one. The next one is actually the one that got released today. It is March 3rd, 2nd. Thank you. Today is March 3rd, so it did come out today, but I happened to find it early at my Barnes & Noble, and that is The Heartless one by Emma Hamm. This is the follow-up to the Deathless one that I just read last month, and I gave that one 5 stars, and I'm really, really excited to pick up the sequel. These are not very long, but they have a feel of kind of like a fast infatuation, but a little bit more of a slower burn romance-wise, and I really like that. So he is the Deathless one, and she was the princess, and she was killed on her wedding day, thrown off a cliff, but then the Deathless one brings her back to life and saves her and says, we're gonna help each other. You're gonna help me get my body back. And I'm gonna help you get the throne back. So this is the continuation in that story. I really love the first one. Really excited to pick up the second one. So like I said, this is released today, March 3rd, and I was able to get it a few days early from my Barnes & Noble, which I love that. So very excited to pick this one up. Can you see this?
Yeah.
So the next book that I got is Rabbits. This is by Terry Miles. This one is not a new release. I'm sure people have seen this cover because it's pretty distinctive with the colors and the rabbit, obviously. This one is a game type of book that it made me think of Squid Game, which is what makes me want to read it. It made me think of Squid Game. So it says a deadly underground game might just be altering reality itself. In this surreal techno thriller set in the world of the popular Rabbids podcast. Rabbids is a mysterious alternate reality game so vast it uses the entire world as its canvas. Since the game started in 1959, 10 iterations have appeared and 9 winners have been declared. The identities of these winners are unknown. So is their reward, which is rumored to include vast wealth, immortality, or perhaps even the key to the secrets of the universe. But the deeper you get, the more dangerous the game becomes. Players have died in the past, and the body count is rising. And the 11th round is about to begin. Enter Kay, a Rabbids obsessive who has been trying to find a way into the game for years. That path opens when Kay is approached by billionaire Alan Scarpio, the alleged winner of the 6th iteration. Scarpio says that something has gone wrong with the game and that Kay needs to fix it before 11 starts, but the whole world will pay the price. 5 days later, Scarpio is declared missing, and Kay seems to be all that stands between the world and chaos. So they're just elements to this book that remind me of Squid Game, which is what makes me want to read it. I did put this on my TBR for March, so I should be getting to it hopefully very soon. The next one that I picked up, of course, I had to get it on release day because, I mean, why wouldn't I? And that is Operation Bounce House by Matt Dinniman. This one is not part of the Dungeon Crawler Carl series. This is separate. It is still sci-fi, but I'm so excited for this book. With how much I love Dungeon Crawler Carl, I knew I was going to be picking this one up because I wanted to read something else from him. This one, it says, what happens when you become your planet's final boss? All colonist Oliver Lewis ever wanted to do was run the family ranch with his sister, maybe play a gig or two with his band, and keep his family's aging fleet of intelligent agriculture bots ticking as long as possible. He figures it will be a good thing when the transfer gate finally opens all the way and restores instant travel and full communication between Earth and his planet, New Sonora. But there's a complication. Even though the settlers were promised they'd be left in peace, Earth's government now has other plans. The colossal Apex Industries is hired to commence an eviction action, but maximizing profits will always be Apex's #1 priority. Why spend money printing and deploying AI soldiers when they can turn it into a game? Why not charge bored Earthers for the opportunity to design their own war machines and remotely pilot them from the comfort of their homes? The game is called Operation Bounce House. Oliver and his friends soon find themselves fighting for their lives against machines piloted by gamers who have paid a premium for the privilege. With the help of an old book from his grandfather and a bucket of rusty parts, Oliver is determined to defend the only home he's ever known. So another one that's a game, and I can't wait to read this because I love Matt Dinniman's writing. I love his characters in Dungeon Crawler Carl. I think there's a really great balance between humor, action, and serious moments, and I love that balance that he creates, so I'm really looking forward to this book. The next book that I picked up, because I've heard so many people raving about it this last year, and I'm really curious to try it out. Barnes & Noble said that they would give me half off of one of my other books if I got one of these too, and I figured why not? So I picked up Don't Let the Forest In by C.G. Drews. This one is a young adult horror, I believe, and all I remember is that the boys in this one are incredible and that people love them. So it says, where's this description? So it says, once upon a time, Andrew had cut out his heart and given it to this boy, and he was very sure Thomas had no idea that Andrew would do anything for him, protect him, lie for him, kill for him. High school senior Andrew Perrault finds refuge in the twisted fairy tales that he writes for the only person who can ground him to reality, Thomas Rye, the boy with perpetually ink-stained hands and hair like autumn leaves, and with his twin sister Dove inexplicably keeping him at a cold distance upon their return to Wickwood Academy. Andrew finds himself leaning on his friend even more. But something strange is going on with Thomas. His abusive parents have mysteriously vanished, and he arrives at school with blood on his sleeve. Thomas won't say a word about it and shuts down whenever Andrew tries to ask him questions. Stranger still, Thomas is haunted by something, and he seems to have lost interest in his artwork, whimsically macabre sketches of the monsters from Andrew's wicked stories. Desperate to figure out what's wrong with his friend, Andrew follows Thomas into the off-limits forest one night and catches him fighting a nightmarish monster. Thomas's drawings have come to life and are killing anyone close to him. To make sure no one else dies, the boys battle the monsters every night, but as their obsession with each other grows stronger, so do the monsters, and Andrew begins to fear that the only way to stop the creatures might be to destroy their creator. So I've heard amazing things about this book. I'm really curious to try it out, see if I like it. I know I don't read a whole lot of YA anymore, but with how much everybody has absolutely loved this one, I wanted to give it a shot, and hopefully I will love it too. The next one that I picked up is another one that I'm very, very excited for. I heard about it months ago because Orbit sent me an email about it, and that is For Human Use by Sarah G. Pierce. This one is a rom-com horror about a brand new dating app, a kind of unconventional dating app. So you swipe right or swipe left, but you're not looking at just another regular human being. You're looking at bodies. You're looking at dead bodies. And if you like a dead body, they will send it to you and you can live with it for a little while. It's very, very strange. It's really, really dark sounding, and I cannot wait to pick it up and see what the heck is going to happen in this book. The synopsis doesn't say much because it is just text messages about this new dating app, and it says it's a twisted tale of modern love melding rom-com and horror into a wildly original debut novel. You'll never look at dating the same way again. And I cannot wait. There is something about this book that just draws me in, and I'm so curious about it. I'm so excited to pick it up, and that will hopefully happen very, very soon. Okay, so the next book that I have is another new release. Seriously, February had so many amazing books come out in the month of February that I can't believe it. I can't wait for these books, and there's so many of them that just came out that I can't wait to read. So the next one is another new release, and that is The Astral Library by Kate Quinn. Kate Quinn, if you don't know, she typically writes like historical fiction. The ones that I've read from her are her World War II historical fiction, The Rose Code, Alice Network, Briar Club, all of those are from her. This, however, is her first launch into writing magical realism. Now this is about a library where you can kind of go back in time, sort of, into the fictional worlds of your favorite books. So it talks about going into Gatsby, it talks about going into Jane Austen novels, and some mysteries that they have to solve along the way. I cannot wait to see what Kate Quinn does with this book. She writes amazing female characters, and she writes amazing female friendships. So that in and of itself, I know I'm gonna love in this book because I don't expect that to change, and I can't wait. I can't wait to see what she does with magical realism because I already love her writing, I already love her books, and so now I am going to be picking this one up soon, and I'm so excited for it. All of these are just phenomenal ones that I just cannot wait for, and I hope that they're all 5 stars, to be honest with you. I hope they are. Dollface was a 4.5, but you know, that's still pretty dang good for me for horror. I don't give a lot of 5 and 4-star horror ratings, so next up, we have another new release. This came out at the very beginning of February. This is from an author that I have read from before, and I loved her other book. It was Green Teeth by Molly O'Neill. Now she has come out with Nightshade and Oak. This one is separate from Green Teeth. It is not the same story. It is not connected, and I cannot wait to read this one. It says, from a rising star in cozy fantasy comes the heartwarming tale of a goddess accidentally turned human and her warrior companion as they embark on a quest to restore her immortality. Yeah. When Malt, the goddess of death, is accidentally turned human by a wayward spouse, she finds she's ill-equipped to deal with the trials of immortal life. After all, why would a goddess need to know how to gather food or light a fire? I mean, why? Unable to fend for herself, she teams up with the warrior Bellis on a perilous journey to the afterlife to try and restore her powers. Frustrated by her frail human body and beset by blisters, Malt might not make the best traveling companion, but as animosity slowly turns to attraction, these two very different women must learn to work together if they are to have any hope of surviving their quest. So with Green Teeth, she had very whimsical characters. They were just very quirky and fun, and it was kind of cozy, but it was still going on a quest, and it was just kind of a lower stakes, I guess it was like mid-stakes because of what they're trying to accomplish, but it was just such a good time, and I really, really enjoyed it. And it was really, really accessible. This book I'm hoping will be the same way. I cannot wait to see what she does with this one now that like I've read and loved Green Teeth. I'm really excited to see what this one is about, and hopefully I love these characters just as much as I love Jenny Green Teeth and her companions in Green Teeth. So the next one that I picked up was really just because I've seen it on BookTube. I don't know anything about it, but it was pretty. It was very pretty. And that, see if you know the pages. Right here. Isn't that gorgeous? So this is Hollow. And this is by Caroline Peckham and Suzanne Valenti. And it is a romantasy. And that's pretty much all I know. It says, the great hunt begins once every 50 years, and only the champions willing to face death to shatter the curse dare to enter. The champions and me. I'm no warrior, no swordsmith, and certainly no fae, but the forest is my only hope. To enter those trees is to walk willingly to my demise, but I need the boon the forest will grant the winner, and I'm willing to risk it all for a chance at claiming it. I just never expected to face him beneath those trees, the beast who strikes fear into the desperate people of all lands, the monster who commands the legion of hollows and makes our plight 1,000 times worse. The hollows are empty of all things, but none are so heartless as him. Prince Bane intends to be the death of me, but I have an oath to fulfill before I'll let him have me, and I'll do whatever it takes to achieve it. I am Ferris Creed, and I'm going to unite the lost spirits who once bound the wandering trees in place, return the scattered amulets to the core of its corruption, and use the winner's boon to change my fate. Come wretchedness or torment, through trickery and deception, I will get what I came here for, and no one will stand in my way, not even Prince Bane. So it sounds really good. It sounds like it could be something that I really enjoy, and like I said, it is absolutely beautiful. So I cannot wait to read this. Okay, next up is a book that Hachette Publishing / Orbit Publishing kindly sent me a finished copy of a few weeks back, and I'm very excited to get to it. This is a debut author, so it is their first book, and I love getting books from debut authors just because it's fun finding books from people that I've never heard from before and being pleasantly surprised by how amazing they are. So this is The Trident and the Pearl. This is by Sarah K.L. Wilson, and it is blurbed by Daniel L. Jensen and Hannah Witten on the back. And it says, forced by the gods to be wed, forced by their secrets to be enemies. Queen Coryllis, ruler of the Crocus Isles, kneels to no one. But when her kingdom is besieged by a terrible hurricane, killing her husband and destroying half her nation, she is forced to make a deal with the gods for salvation. But the gods have a wicked sense of justice, and they demand payment for their help. Coryllis must give up her titles and marry the first man to set foot on her pier, a poor, wounded fisherman with broad shoulders and dark power in his eyes. Coryllis keeps her promise and sets out with him in his dinghy, with only the hope of revenge against the gods to keep her from despair. But her new husband hides his own secrets, a link to the gods that may make him her enemy or ally, and a mysterious list of impossible feats waiting to be crossed off. However, learning to trust each other will be their greatest challenge, because only together can they stop the enemies gathering at her kingdom's shores. So it sounds really good. We have arranged marriage. We have either allies, well, potential allies to lovers. We have gods. We have, you know, it just sounds great. We have secrets, and it just sounds so good. It sounds like they're going on a quest, and it just sounds like something that's going to be right up my alley. I really hope that I love this one. I'm so excited to read it. It is so pretty. It just totally gives me like the mermaidy vibes, but it's like got gods and stuff too. So I'm really excited for this one. I do plan on picking this one up very soon in March, and I just, seriously guys, this stack is just amazing. It's amazing. And last but not least, our final book that I hauled in February is actually the very first book I got in February. It is the one that my sister sent me for our monthly book exchange, but it's one that I've looked at for months at Barnes, so it's like she read my mind. But that is Lost Souls Meet Under a Full Moon, and this is by Mizuki Sugimura. I guarantee I said that wrong, but this one is a tiny little fantasy book that is one that I'm really excited to try. So it says, I bring together the living and the departed. I am the go-between. A lion? Yeah. I am the go-between. When a young woman from Tokyo contacts the go-between to request a meeting with a deceased TV star who once helped her, she doesn't expect a teenage boy to show up. Dressed in a designer duffel coat and carrying a tattered notebook, Ayumi Shibuya offers an extraordinary service. He reunites the living with their dearly departed. Meeting his clients at a luxury hotel, Ayumi lays down the ground rules. Each reunion is a one-time arrangement that the dead can refuse. The service is entirely free, and the meeting must take place during a full moon. As Ayumi arranges these reunions, we encounter a resentful eldest son who wants to ask his mother to unearth the deed to a plot of land, a teenage girl who blames herself for her best friend's death, and a weary businessman seeking answers about his fiance's disappearance days after he proposed. Already a multi-million copy bestseller in Japan, is storytelling at its finest. Okay, so this one, it sounds so interesting, and I'm so excited to try it out. I've really jumped into a lot of these different translated works the last year or so, and I've enjoyed some, and I've not enjoyed others, but I'm really, really excited to try this one out. It sounds like it's going to be really, really interesting, and I can't wait to pick it up. So that is it. These are all of the books that I hauled in February. There is a ton of new releases on here. Which one of these are you interested in, looking forward to, or have already bought? I would love to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. Thank you so much for being here, hanging out with me for a little bit. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you are so inclined. Thank you so much again for being here, hanging out with me for a little bit, and I'll catch you in my next one. Bye, guys. Whew. My feet are falling asleep. These are. Oh my god, if I could pick them up.
That's a lot of books.
I do got a lot of books.